Here we go again. 24 hours after I find myself in a rare instance of agreement with the mainstream media. It didn't take long for the common sense mask to be removed and the cucumbered foreheads to be re-exposed. One thing I have learned over the past couple of years of being around a teenager, teenagers are extremely impressionable. They're naive. They think they know everything. They think they are individuals who lead the crowd instead of following the crowd. But truth is, most of the time, teenagers have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They don't know what they believe, which is fine. That's fine. They're teenagers. That's what they're supposed to be doing. They're at that age where they are supposed to be figuring things out, figuring out who they are. Remember back in high school, something would happen at lunch. Maybe some nerd slips and spills his lunch all over the cheerleader, or some bully is finally talking shit to the wrong person and gets his ass handed to him. Maybe the popular cheerleader is giving a presentation to the class. Mid-presentation, she suddenly has an accidental impersonation of the whoopee cushion on The View. Aroma is so bad the paint is literally melting off the walls. Whatever the case may be, just pick your embarrassing moment. Whatever the embarrassing moment may be, within seconds, the entire school knows about it. Within seconds, every kid at the school is taking the same position and furthering the humiliation of whoever had the embarrassing moment. Now, as adults, we look at someone spilling their lunch as no big deal. Hell, most of us would probably help them clean things up. As adults, we realize that there's a lot of women that fart more than men do. It's no longer shocking to us. Just watch an episode of The View if you don't believe me. But in high school, everything gets magnified. Something so minuscule becomes something that's major. For some reason, this level of immaturity and juvenile behavior, it has become prevalent throughout the mainstream media. I swear to God, these people are like children. They're like high schoolers. They have the maturity of my 10-week-old puppy who makes a doodle, then turns around and eats it. Damn thing thinks her ass is like a bakery. The other morning, I let my dogs outside to do their business. My oldest Yorkie, Chewy, she's sniffing around the yard looking for that prime real estate that she can tarnish with her merchandise. She finally finds the perfect spot. She begins dropping her load. The puppy, 10-week-old puppy, runs up behind her, mouth wide open, and lets the freshly baked goods fall directly into her mouth. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I cannot keep enough dentist sticks in the house right now. But anyway, yesterday, the shit fucks in the mainstream media, they were scouring the internet. They were looking for something to magnify and express their fake outrage. Now, in the eyes of the media, that story yesterday, I think it was Kevin Brown, that story was okay, but typically, that is not the type of story that is used to express fake outrage. Stories like what happened with Kevin Brown, they just don't get the woke boners to their proper level of climax. With Kevin Brown, the mainstream media, they were defending the white man. That is an unusual position for them. I mean, as you guys know, that is absolutely no bueno. The white man can't be defended. He needs to be replaced, which creates opportunity for diversity. Now, some in the media trying to use the criticism of Meg Rapinoe to stoke fake outrage, but that just wasn't working because most people just aren't biting into that shit sandwich. Shitfucks in the media, they needed a story. They needed something minuscule that they could magnify into a pretend big deal. And they found exactly what they wanted on The Herd with Colin Cowherd. This simple mistake, this simple oversight climaxed the woke boners. This scenario was perfect. Evil white man, check. Deceased black man, check. White man forgets he's deceased, check. Yesterday on The Herd, Colin Cowherd, he was talking about first-round draft picks in the NFL from 2013 to present who just have no chance of winning the Super Bowl this year. Now, segments like this, they're nothing but filler. These segments are meaningless. It's the middle of August. It's the worst time of the year for sports talk radio. You got 15 hours of airtime to fill every week, so some doofus intern comes up with a segment that means absolutely nothing. There were maybe 25 names included on Cowherd's list of quarterbacks who have no chance of winning the Super Bowl. Now, the vast majority of these predictions were obvious. For example, Colin Cowherd said Blake Bortles has no chance of winning the Super Bowl. Well, no shit. He's been out of the league for 2 years now. Last I heard, Blake Bortles was working security at the Garden of Stephen, making sure lonely men were not tempted to grab Don's forbidden lemons. EJ Manuel was another obvious choice on this list. Justin Fields. Hell, Justin Fields doesn't have Super Bowl aspirations. Are you kidding me? Right now, his only aspiration should be to win a game. Preseason, regular season, off season, doesn't matter. Just win one game. But there was one name included on this list, and it was vocalized live on the air by Colin Cowherd. This name, it was more obvious than the others. This dude has zero chance of winning the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, unlike Blake Bortles or EJ Manuel, this man has no chance of ever stepping onto an NFL field again. God rest his soul, I'm talking about Dwayne Haskins. Now, technically, Colin Cowherd was right here. Dwayne Haskins has no chance to win a Super Bowl because he tragically lost his life last summer. But let me ask you something. Before the media were expressing their fake outrage over this yesterday, how many of you guys remembered what happened last summer to Dwayne Haskins? I cover the media every day. I spend hours every day reading the mainstream media. Even I had forgotten about it. And when I say that, I'm not being disrespectful to the memory of Dwayne Haskins. I'm not disrespecting his legacy, his family. What happened last summer with Dwayne Haskins, it was tragic. He lost his life way too soon. But in a 24-hour news cycle, where a story can be headline news one day and completely forgotten the next, unless something like this affects you personally, most people are going to forget, especially a year later. Colin Cowherd's doing live radio. He's reading off a list that was more than likely created by some doofus intern or producer. The guy slipped up. He made a mistake. But as you guys know, mistakes, those are not allowed at Woke United Methodist. No. According to Deadspin, this is outrageous. This is unacceptable. Productions of this magnitude cannot allow this unforgivable sin to happen. Captain Nerd Mike Florio, leader of the Virgin Army, he responded by saying, "Good Lord, this is bad." He wrote an entire article about this on that shitty website, Pro Football Talk, the same site that NBC Sports overpaid to obtain many years ago. According to Mike Florio, this was an inexplicable blunder. You know what I think is an inexplicable blunder? NBC paying Mike Florio millions of dollars, thinking he knows anything about the NFL. Hell, I would listen to Mina Kimes over Mike Florio. She's a hell of a lot better to look at. The fake outrage from the mainstream media, it was all over Twitter or X yesterday afternoon. Lonely, miserable people using a simple mistake by Colin Cowherd to boost their social media following. Some dude on Boomer Esiason's radio show, he accused Colin Cowherd of doing this on purpose. He did this to grab attention and create controversy. Now, Boomer Esiason, he accused Colin Cowherd of just being lazy, knowing nothing about sports in the NFL. And you know what? Maybe that's true. Maybe Colin Cowherd's knowledge of sports is minimal. Now, I'm not going to say the same thing about Boomer Esiason because he actually played in the NFL, but you know who else doesn't know anything about sports? You know who else lacks in-depth knowledge about the NFL? 99% of the people you see on radio and television. Over the years, you know how many blunders Stephen A. Smith has made when talking about the NFL? I remember a couple of years ago, he was hyping up Monday Night Football. He was claiming to be all excited to see this matchup between a running back and a defensive lineman or a linebacker. I can't remember the teams or the players' names off the top of my head, but Stephen A. Smith, he's claiming to be all excited about this matchup. And both players, they were out for the season. Hell, one of the players, I think it was the running back, he had been out injured since September, and this game was taking place in December. Have you ever wondered why former players are not hosting flagship shows in radio? Have you ever wondered why Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN? Have you ever wondered why Skip Bayless is the star on Undisputed and not former players and athletes? Sure, they bring on former players, but Stephen A. Smith is the star. Skip Bayless is the star. Have you ever wondered why? Have you ever wondered why the most popular sports talk radio shows are hosted by guys like Colin Cowherd and Dan Patrick instead of Tom Brady and Drew Brees or Michael Jordan? It's not about knowledge. It's not about playing experience. It's about entertainment. Stephen A. Smith, he might have minimal knowledge of the NFL, but he's damn sure entertaining when he's making fun of the Dallas Cowboys. Colin Cowherd, he might not know shit about the NFL, but he's damn sure compelling on radio. I like Colin Cowherd, but when I listened to him, I didn't listen to be lectured on X's and O's. I didn't listen to him because he was always right. I listened because Colin Cowherd was always entertaining. I knew his knowledge of the NFL was minimal when he started inviting RJ Bell from pregame.com on his show and describing RJ Bell as an NFL gambling expert. He hyped up RJ Bell like he was some professional sharp, a gambler, when the truth is, RJ Bell sucks at picking games. RJ Bell is an excellent salesman. He's not an excellent gambler. Real gambling experts, real professionals, they're not selling their picks to the public because they don't want to lose their competitive edge. But anyway, this was another example yesterday of the mainstream media magnifying something that was nothing. Colin Cowherd didn't do this on purpose. Colin Cowherd wasn't disrespecting the legacy or the family of Dwayne Haskins. The dude made a mistake. His production made a mistake. Last I checked, we all make mistakes, but that narrative, it doesn't generate clicks. That narrative doesn't boost your social media following. Unfortunately, jumping on the fake outrage caboose does. But give me your thoughts. Was this a simple mistake by Colin Cowherd, or do you think that he did this on purpose to generate controversy and attention? I apologize for not sharing the video footage with you guys from FS1, but FS1 has been an absolute nightmare lately. They don't allow me anymore to share their content. I guess they're bitter because I was always so critical of Shay Shay and Skippy Bebe. I don't know, but let me know what you think. The media piles on the fake outrage. They pretend to be upset, when I think the reality is, they jump on any opportunity to build their social media following. What about you? Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.